The Battle of Dunkirk, also known as the Dunkirk Evacuation, took place between the 26th of May and the 4th of June in 1940, during the early stages of the Second World War. After invading Belgium, the Netherlands and France, German forces advanced rapidly through Western Europe. Their strategy trapped hundreds of thousands of Allied soldiers, mainly British and French troops, along the northern coast of France, near the town of Dunkirk. The Allies faced the possibilities of complete defeat if these soldiers were captured. As the German army closed in, the British government launched Operation Dynamo, a large-scale evacuation from the beaches and harbour of Dunkirk. The operation was directed from Dover by the Royal Navy, which organised ships to transport troops across the English Channel to Britain. The evacuation was extremely dangerous because German aircraft repeatedly bombed the beaches and the ships, while artillery fire threatened the soldiers waiting to be rescued. One of the most remarkable features of the evacuation was the use of hundreds of civilian boats, often called the little ships of Dunkirk. These included fishing boats, lifeboats, pleasure boats, and other small vessels that helped carry soldiers from the shallow beaches to larger naval ships waiting offshore. Although the Royal Navy carried out most of the evacuation, the civilian boats became a lasting symbol of courage and determination. Despite the desperate situation, the evacuation was far more successful than expected. Around 338,000 Allied soldiers were rescued and brought safely to Britain. However, the Allies had to leave behind vast amounts of military equipment, including tanks, vehicles, artillery, and supplies, which were captured by the Germans. France continued fighting for a short time before surrendering later in June 1940. The evacuation at Dunkirk did not represent a military victory because the Allied armies had been forced to retreat after suffering major defeats. However, saving such a large number of experienced soldiers meant that Britain still had a strong army available to defend the country. Only a few months later, these troops played an important role in preparing Britain for the Battle of Britain, when the country successfully resisted a German air campaign. The Battle of Dunkirk remains one of the most significant events of the Second World War. It demonstrated the bravery of soldiers, sailors, pilots, and civilians who worked together under incredibly difficult conditions. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill described the evacuation as a miracle of deliverance, while also reminding the nation that wars are not won by evacuations. Even so, Dunkirk became a powerful symbol of resilience, unity, and hope in the face of overwhelming odds. Today, the story of Dunkirk is remembered as an example of courage, teamwork, and determination during one of Britain's darkest moments. The successful rescue of so many soldiers helped Britain continue the war against Germany and laid the foundation for the eventual Allied victory in 1945. The events at Dunkirk continue to be studied by historians and commemorated through memorials, museums, books, and films. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for the next episode of History in the Making.